Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Everyday Excellence. I'm your host, Todd at Baldwin, and today we have Mario Aguilar, who is the owner and CEO of Lemus Construction. How you doing, Mario?
Great, can be better. So, Todd, I'm not gonna lie to you. This is probably exactly what you feel going into like a couple therapy session. I mean, we have to tweak it a little bit and call it like business therapy. You're
Okay,
probably
okay.
you're probably gonna make me go back in time and bring up some good memories and bad memories as well. So, one thing is for sure, brother. I'm not here to give you a prefab story full of unicorns and rainbows. I'll try to be as real as possible and keep it simple.
That is awesome, Mario. And I have never had anybody compare this to couples therapy, but it makes sense. It makes sense. So that is a great way to a very light intro. So, Mario, tell me a little bit about Lemus Construction. I'm sure you could do a much better job introducing your company than I ever could.
No, listen, before anything, I guess we need to put in perspective the roofer's mindset, okay? We are not wired to be looking backwards. We are always looking ahead. What is the next
Right.
job, the next customer, where we're going to be next week? Always looking ahead. So there is a constant mode of adapting and changing. And I'm not going to lie to you, it is addictive. So with that being said, I am Mario Aguilar, CEO of Lemus Construction. We're in the business of protecting homes. We're trying to make people feel good taken care of. In full transparency, Todd, I did not choose roofing as my career. In a way, I feel like roofing chose me.
Okay.
We didn't get to this point by following anybody's recipe. 18 years in the industry, family business, very hands-on, very process-driven, and we take pride on what we do. And most important, what we say we're going to do and being there when it matters the most. So I guess on a simple sentence, Lemus Construction, it is considered to be the fastest roofing company in the northeast area of the country. So, and yes, by now we're number one nationwide, 2 years on the road, doing roof installation for the biggest manufacturer out there, which is GAF. So
Oh,
we
well. Yep.
basically are on top of the multifamily industry right here. So
Well, that is awesome. And congrats on 18 years of business. That is quite an accomplishment. Like I had told you when we visited a little bit earlier, I love talking to entrepreneurs. So again, I really appreciate you jumping on our podcast here today. So let's rewind a little bit and just kind of go back to 18 years, back to the early days. Just curious, when you look back, what did Lemus Construction look like when it first started?
see, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like if we go back to 2007, 2008, when everything started, what did Limus look like back then? Very small, lean, very personal touch, no fancy system, just big dreams. A lot of those similar stories that work hard during the day, go back to the office, write some proposals, sometimes slip at the office and wake up the next day and go back at it every day. So that's what it will take us. And we didn't see things working this way for us. We were always at where this is gonna go next. Maybe something good, maybe not. But we always had a serious mindset.
Sure.
Uh, we were not chasing titles. We were not chasing the biggest story. Our aim was always focused on results, reputation, and most important, stability for our family.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because you mentioned sleeping on the couch or at the business and, working all day, going back to write proposals. Always tell people, be careful what you wish for if you wanna own a business, right? So,
That's right. That's
when
right.
you when you look back in those early years, what was harder, than what you expected it would be?
So we're talking about people, we're talking about
Yeah.
communication, we're talking about being consistent. So doing exterior remodeling is hard as it owns, like it's not an easy job, it's not an easy task. But leading a big company, having a huge team behind you, building the trust, keeping the standards the same across every job, that is even harder. So, and one thing that you must know is that the bigger you get, there is not much room for error,
right?
which means there is less forgiving things that will turn on your favor. So I don't know if that makes any sense, but
No, it does. It makes totally sense. And you know, when I look back at these early years, I think about my organization. I could definitely think of lessons, right, and good lessons I learned early on. What is a early mistake that taught you a big lesson?
oh boy, mistakes. There were many mistakes. There were many mistakes across, but
Is
I
there
guess
one
to
that
be,
kind of jumps out at you? One that's like, oh wow, that
but
taught you a big lesson?
yeah, definitely. I mean, see, this is the thing for me. We have to define what is a mistake. At
Sure.
least, at least in my book, a mistake is only considered to be a mistake if it's done multiple times. Okay. For example, I don't know if I'm going to articulate this well, but one thing that I tell our team members all the time is that a mistake is a learning at the first time. If you do it two times, that's negligence.
Yeah. Hey,
You
hey, I'm
follow
gonna
me?
use that one. I'm gonna use that one. I tell my
you
team
know,
all the time, look, we're gonna make mistakes as long as we learn from them and correct them
absolutely.
and to where we don't have it happen again, then it's okay. I mean, we're not perfect, right? Nobody's in a perfect world. So
Yeah.
it's a good learning opportunity is how I look at it. But I'm
Hmm.
with you. If it happens a second time, it's negligence. I like that. I like that,
Yeah.
Mark. I'm learning things not right now as well as our listeners. So that was
Listen,
that was
early
awesome.
on, early on, we made tons of mistakes, and that's basically what it make us stronger. That's what it
Sure.
help us to build the systems, the standards, so we don't learn the same lesson two times.
Sure. No, that makes
Yeah.
complete sense. So, you've got this 18-year company now, right? And so we've talked a little bit about the beginning. What's changed the most about running a construction company over those 18 years, right? I mean, I know you've had a lot of change. But what are a few things that's jumped out that's really changed a lot from 18 years ago to now?
So one thing that we keep consistent throughout the 18 years, Todd, is that we always go back to the drawing board and figure out like what can we do better. There is always, and you're gonna hear this a lot from different entrepreneurs. What did we did right? What did we did wrong? What can we do better? So as long as you always question yourself, I think there is room for growing and making things better. So back then, at the early times of Lemus Construction, it was all about survival. It was all about hustling. Uh, After many years now, it turned into like the key is execution. We're talking
Sure.
about having the structure, protecting the customer experience overall. Uh, I think that today our main goal it is being consistent and providing that experience on the high level for those customers.
Yeah, no, it's all about giving that good customer experience. So I'm going to focus on you for 1 second on this question. And I'm just
Yes,
curious, how has your role changed from year one to today?
I always say this when I'm in front of a customer. Like it takes so many jobs to build a reputation, and it only takes one to knock it off. Okay,
Right.
so where we started, I was doing basically everything.
Right.
Wearing different hats, but it was not just me. It was my sister, my brother-in-law. Who thanks to those two, we have Lemus Construction now. They are the founders. Somehow those two mastered the skills of reinventing the company year after year. It is amazing, like what they do. If you look at our planning room, you will consider ourselves crazy for the things that we're aiming in the next 5 years, 10 years. So, we did slowly grow the business, but right now we got to the point where like, okay, we're not stopping. We have to continue.
Right. Yeah. No, I love it. And I love big goals. Right. I
Hmm.
mean, So I would like to see that. Maybe take a picture of it, send it to me. I'd love to see what you guys are aiming for in the next 5 years or so. Let's talk a little bit about your culture, your team, right? How big is your current organization roughly? People ask me that all the time, and I start thinking in my head, I should know that number off the top of my bat. But what roughly how big are you guys now?
I think in the middle of the season, we can get up there to the 200 Lemus guys out there
Wow,
wearing the Lemus shirt and executing projects. I'm talking about direct employees. I'm talking about supervisors, project managers, operation managers, the crews. That in most cases, they can be a W-2 employees, or they can be a subcontractor, because that's the way the industry is run now these days. So I think we run about 200 guys in the middle of the season, and basically, my job is to make sure the company doesn't depend on one person.
sure,
And the biggest challenge for myself is staying motivated. Okay, we all can be motivated for a week, but how can you motivate other people if you're not motivated? So
sure.
I put a lot of work into that, and some days are easier than others, but we do whatever it takes to make things happen.
Yeah, no, I try to in my organization. I mean, we're a digital agency, right? So I just try to stay in my lane. And like I
Mhm.
tell clients all the time, you don't want me running your campaigns, right? I'm not the one logging in doing the work. You don't want that because that's not my strength at all. Um, they give me a hard time because they say for an owner and founder of an agency, I'm the least technical person on the team, but that's okay because that's not my strength. But I'm curious, you got 200 people out there, when let's say in peak season or when season's really kicking. What do you think clients notice first when working with your team?
See, that's a really good question, because um, they see the hard work, they see the dedication from the first moment that we present a proposal, the moment that we walk into their communities, introduce ourselves, try to help them. Not just earning their business. We're there to build a relationship. So um, we try to establish that relationship at the beginning of that, so we can stay strong and deliver what we promise. So those are the things that I think it sets ourselves away from the pack, that we made this our lifestyle. So I can 100% tell you, eye to eye, like, there is nothing outside of Lemus Construction for someone like me, and I feel confident that I can say that on behalf of most of our guys. It would be
Yeah, we're
foolish to think that everybody feels the same.
well, sure, but I'm sure you have to be around 18 years and have the success and growth that you guys have had. You got to have really, really good people, and those people have to be with you for a long time. So, with that in mind, what do you think keeps your good people around for such a long time?
I will say this, living by the example. We work hard. You see, uh, Victor Lemus, our founder, my sister, Clady. They are the first one to show up every day at the office. They are hustling. I mean, it's hard to believe 7 days a week, but this is legit. If there will be more hours on each day, they'll be putting those hours in. So, living by the example, because I think if the rest of the team recognize that they're not alone, they have the full support. Uh, and especially most of our team members, they do take pride of what they do. They carry the mindset that we carry. So I don't think it's hard for us to outgrow the team, because good people bring more good people around.
100%. Yeah, no, your people are your organization, right? So you got to take good care of them, provide a good place, and you want them to be obviously passionate. They're not going to be um, as passionate as you are or I am about our business because they're not the owner, right? But
Mhm.
if you can get them right below that and take care of them and their families and know that they're loved and respected, it's amazing how you can really build a great team. And to
Yes,
us, culture is everything, right? I mean, you got to have a
yes.
great culture.
Love
What
and respect. Love and respect, Todd. That's what they found here at Lemus Construction. Now, not everything is perfect, but you don't need to be perfect to be part of Lima's construction team. We take you for your strengths. we work on your weaknesses. And I'm not trying to sound like a sales pitch, but we do make feel our team members like part of the family first, so they can carry the culture everywhere they go.
Oh, absolutely. So, um, yeah, we're big on culture too, and we love our team, and we're very appreciative of the team, just like you are too, Mario. I've got a question for you. If one of our listeners was just starting an exterior construction business today, you've been in for 18 years. What would you tell them to focus on first?
Oof, that's a tough question because I think I think everybody has to discover their own ways of you know getting to their goals. I
Sure,
think you got to start by defining what a success mean to you. There's different ways to get to that point. Sometimes some are quicker than other ones, but the biggest advice is don't expect instant results,
sure.
because those will never come. 100% you'll be waiting long time before you see those results. So I will say invest on a long-term planning, invest on your team, and then everything else will come after. uh, I feel like Lemus Construction is a pioneer on the roofing industry, not because we were first, but pioneer in the sense that we always trying to evolve. We always trying to make things better. You often hear like not a nice stories about roofing, like, oh, they came to my house, it was a mess. So we're trying to change here at Lemus Construction that narrative. We're trying to give
Sure.
them a nice experience. Yes, roofing is messy. Of course, the process, the noise, taking all the space around the house. But let's be let's be realistic. Your most valuable items and your family are under a roof.
Yeah, it's your biggest asset, right? And also your biggest purchase that you'll make in life, for most people, right? Unless someone's buying a business or something of that nature. But no, 100%. We've been in our home for 20 years. It seems like the worker, that keep never ends, but I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I have a question for you, Mario. I should say another question. So 200 people, it's a big team, right? Um, it takes a lot of business to generate, pay the bills, make sure, take care of your team and all that. What do you guys do for lead gen? And not only what do you do, I'm sure you do many things, but what is your best lead gen channel, that seems to bring in the best type of lead that you're looking for?
I'm probably not gonna have an answer for that because that's a work in progress trying to figure that one out. We try to focus in the process, not so much in the outcome. So I think the motivation to keep going and trying to build a legacy, it just brings good people around. We respectfully treat everybody, even our competition. Like if we don't
Sure.
respect our competition to begin with, then we're just one more out there. So we respect everybody who's part of this, the customer or team members, even the competition.
Yeah, I'm a big believer. Don't ever bash the competition. How do where do your leads come from? Your new leads for new opportunities to go put a roof on or do siding or windows, or what type of as far as when you're doing lead generation, how do people typically find you, and and what are you doing to get new customers? Because every business constantly needs that pipeline, right? Of new customers coming in the door. So what are you guys doing?
Yeah, listen, Todd. I mean, generating leads is a company on its own. Like you can run a business just by generating leads and sell it to other contractors out there. And uh, you better believe that this is being done and it's in the works out there, where like people are just trying to generate this and pass on those leads to other contractors. So you're gonna turn into, like, 10, 12 contractors fighting to get the next contract. What does that do for the customer?
Right.
Too many options. We highly believe on a word of mouth, where people talk about if we did a good job, that's gonna get you the next lead. But you also have to consider different avenues. So there is people out there who's providing this type of services. What is new on Lemus Construction is that we launched last year Lemus Remodeling. So basically, we took the multifamily division, which is what I am handling right now. That's fully dedicated for commercial and multifamily unit. I'm talking about like townhomes, condominium associations, and then we formally launched Lemus Remodeling, which is going to be solely focused on serving retail, meaning single family homes. So we out of respect for the multifamily, we knew that the two departments couldn't coexist in the same
Sure.
environment. So on the single family world, we have Lemus Remodeling, and it's definitely a different concept. We're doing canvassing, we're knocking doors, but being respectful that everybody deserves their privacy, and just being fair with prices as well.
So Mario, I just want to follow up on the lead gen conversation we were having. Let me tell you. So when people find you online, right, and say they do a Google search, they reach out to you, interested in a roof. That's the power of Google, right? They've got a problem. I'm looking for a solution, right? I need someone to help me with my roof, or I want to get some siding fixed, or I want to get some new windows. How do you feel the quality of those leads are for you guys?
So it all depends. You get good leads. Sometimes you get also customers overthinking the process. But putting myself on the customer's shoes is important to give it a first shot to the contractor. Let them explain the process. Let them tell you a little bit about how they got to where they are at that moment. I think it's a fair shot. Sometimes looking into reviews, it does tell you a little bit of the story, but not the full picture. So once you get in front of the customer, explain the process, talk about yourself, the way you represent the company, and then make it right to the customer. That's all why we are in business now.
Sure. And the last thing to piggyback on that is the AI side of the world, right? This artificial intelligence that's not going away, Chat GPT. So the cool thing is we're finding our clients are getting leads off Chat GPT. What are y'all's thoughts on AI, and do you guys have an AI strategy for 2026?
We are. I mean, obviously, this is constant developing process, but so far AI it has a good impact into the industry. I think some of the deficiencies with systems in place, following some guidance, now you can find it very accessible through AI. So I think maybe in other industries is affecting, on our side of the industry is making things better. So I think, and we haven't see the full capacity of AI yet. So from what we saw so far, I feel like it's going to be a tool out there available for whoever wants to do things better and improve, not stay on the old thinking mindset, but just look into new ways and again with the same objective that you always going to improve.
Sure. No, it's not going away, right? So either adapt or get left behind is what we say, right?
That's correct.
So I'm just curious as we wrap this thing up, what excites you most about the next chapter with Lemus Construction?
Um, I will say that, and not to repeat myself, but being focused on the process, that's what it excites us, because excite us in a way that we know where we're trying to get, and believe me, quitting is not on our DNA. We'll do whatever it takes, setting the goals, setting the expectations. Yes, consciously you can set as many goals as you want to, but subconscious sometimes it can help you make things possible. Sometimes it will plant doubts in your mind that will not allow you to succeed. So I will say that more than AI, a little bit of what's going on our industry, as well as many industries out there, is the private equity and what it's doing to our market. I'm not trying to pick up a fight with anybody. It's just that there's
Sure.
different ways to succeed. So we feel that We want to fight the good fight, and our beliefs is that it's hard to serve two masters at the same time. So you either serve your investors or you serve the customer, of which we choose the customer. So that is not uh, a bad end of the story if your fully focus is the customers.
Sure. Yeah. No, we're big believers. It's all about that customer and the experience. And the private equity has really come on strong in the last several years in this home service industry. Not only your industry, but HVAC. Had a friend of mine, a huge irrigation company that just actually did end up selling, rolling up. He had big company throughout Texas, Oklahoma, rolling on all up in a private equity deal. But and one thing he will tell me, it has changed. He is still there, and it's not what it was at one time. It's very frustrating because they've lost the ability to do what they think is best to help continue to
Yeah.
grow that business like they did for in your shoes, 18, 20 years. So, well,
Yes,
Mario,
definitely. I mean,
yeah,
I will add something to that
sure.
is that what private equity is doing as a side effect in a good way, positive way, is that it's making contractors like us step it up, level it up, uh, improvise in a good way where you're fully focused on making things better. So you're evolving, and that's part of this, like don't stay still, always in the move, and always aiming to be better.
Yes. No, man, Mario, I love everything that you've mentioned and we've talked about. I love your mindset as far as an operator, business owner. Last question here. If someone remembers one thing about Lemus Construction after this conversation, what do you hope it is?
That's a good one to finish, huh?
Yeah.
So, one thing to remember about Lemus Construction. I mean, listen, we didn't get here where we are by coincidence, and honestly, not even fully by design. Uh, I believe God allow us to and lead us the way. So He opened a lot of doors throughout these many years, and it has to be a bigger purpose that we still trying to figure it out. One thing is for sure, if He allow us to get up to where we are right now, and one day we stumble and we fall short, it has to be for a reason. Maybe we didn't do something right and we need to correct and go at it again and again and again, and continue the path forward. So we take life as it is because at the end of the day, it is a gift. And being part of this or anywhere that we end up is always going to be a gift, and you have to make the most out of it.
Man, that is a great way to end the show or end our episode here today, Mario. I can't thank you enough for being on. For everyone who is listening out there, if you'd like to learn more about Lemus Construction, you can find them at lemusconstruction.com, or you can also find their website in the podcast description. Again, Mario, thank you so much for joining.
Listen, Todd, I truly appreciate this opportunity. I appreciate even more the fact that you allow us to be real, to bring out the facts, not just the good side of the story. So I wish you nothing but good luck into your program and anything that you accomplish throughout this year. Thank you again for the opportunity.
You bet. Hey, thank you for the kind words, Mario. Hope to talk again soon with you.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you.